How's it going, reef keepers? Hope everybody's having a good week. I figured that for new reefers or reefers who are new to All-For-Reef, I would cover how I mix up All-For-Reef because I use the powdered version, not the, solution that comes, as a liquid because it's much cheaper to go with the actual powder that you mix yourself. And it seems like when I look on the reef forums, there are a lot of, especially new reef keepers, asking, hey, how are you guys mixing this up? And I think I figured out why. Because when I look at the back of a container for All-For-Reef, you see a lot of description about like what the product is in different languages, but it is kind of hard to pick out any kind of directive on how to mix All-For-Reef, because at least at first glance, without doing a little bit of work on it, because they are trying to cover so many different languages, right? Which I appreciate Tropic Marin doing that. However, it does kind of prompt you to look to the internet because you're like, whoa, this is kind of a lot. So I think I understand why people are going to the forums for this kind of thing. And I assume people are searching YouTube for it as well. So what I do to mix up my All-For-Reef is, first off, I buy the big container because it's the best value. It's a crappy one-time expense, but like it's gonna last you a really long time. So I would opt for the bigger container of it. And then I bought a magnetic stir plate, right? Typically this mixes my little mini calc reactor. I have a video on that if you're interested in a mini calc reactor for a nano tank. But this magnetic stir plate, which is a Lab Fish MS-5, I believe, it's like $40 on Amazon, and it's going to make the process of mixing All-For-Reef way, 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 way easier on you. Also, you'll want to pick up a simple 1,000 milliliter beaker. This one's by a company called Carter, spelled with a K. And this beaker's just been my go-to. I just kind of leave it in my cabinet until I need to take it down whenever I run out of All-For-Reef and need to make more. So the formula for mixing up All-For-Reef is 6 level compacted scoops of All-For-Reef and 900 milliliters of fresh RODI water, right? So as you can see, I put 900 milliliters of fresh RODI water into the beaker, and I usually turn the magnetic stir pill on its lowest setting when I am first dumping in these level scoops of All-For-Reef, right? So I've got one level scoop here, and typically what I do is I scoop it out, and then I actually take this little clear plate that sits over the top of the All-For-Reef, and I kind of scrape it down and scrape the excess in here and make sure that it is a compacted level scoop. And then with this magnetic pill whirring around at its lowest speed, I go ahead and just dump in the All-For-Reef kind of off to the side. And you can hear it grinding around, right? So that's why I run it on its lowest speed. I want it, here, I'll turn this off so it's not annoying you guys, but I dump it in when the magnetic stir pill is going at its lowest speed, because if you have it on high speed and a little bit of that powder kind of just dumps on top of it as it sinks, it can make it go crazy and fling off, and get off of the little magnetic coupling. So I suggest kind of going at the lowest speed, which isn't even that slow, and just gently put in one scoop at a time until you have 6 scoops that you've dumped in there, and then just walk away from it, right? Just leave it, because it actually takes longer to mix up than you would anticipate. Like the first, I would say like the first 80%, maybe 90% of the powder mixes up really quickly. But then you'll see, even after 6 scoops, you see about that much powder that you have with one scoop. That really takes a lot of mixing to fully dissolve into the RODI water, right? So I usually plan to just have my calc reactor down for a while on this day because I'm too cheap to buy another $40 stir plate. But plan to, go and do something and come back to it and check on it every couple hours until you truly see no more grains in the bottom. They will eventually dissolve, I assure you, even if it doesn't seem like they will. I would let it go, right? Yeah, just let it go, and eventually you'll have All-For-Reef ready to go. And I usually just dump it into like a milk jug, right? So you'll have to do a few batches to fill up like a standard, gallon milk jug. But that's what I suggest doing. Get a bunch of it made. Just spend one day just making batches of it, right? Totally worth it. It works great. I run this on my smallest nano tank because there's only a couple corals in there. It takes like, I don't know, a milliliter and a half a day. Nothing at all. But yeah, that's how I do it. So if anybody wanted to know, again, it's 900 milliliters of freshly made RODI water and then 6 level compacted scoops of All-For-Reef and just a magnetic stir plate and a beaker. That's all you need. All right, guys, have a good one.